friends. Welcome back to Eternal Serenity Tarot. Aqua gang. Now we're gonna keep this a secret between me. I won't tell anybody y'all business, but who has y'all in your feelings? Honestly, I haven't pulled yet. We're just starting off with bottom of the deck energies. So on the bottom of the tarot deck, we got the Queen of Cups. And then on the bottom of the Oracle cards, which y'all already know, we don't pull until the end. Ooh, I just saw Surrender to Change. I tried to pick the deck up and Surrender to Change wanted to be seen. So we're definitely going to keep that in mind. So we can talk about that at the end of the reading. And the Consequence of Fear showing on the bottom of my deck. Okay. So before we even pull anything, let's talk about what I'm getting so far. I think you're dealing with a lot of emotions based on the Queen of Cups being here. It is upright, so I'm getting like self-mastery. I think you guys are really working through emotional regulation at this time. I want to talk about this a little bit before we read from the book at the end, like I always do. The Consequence of Fear, contraction, the frequency of fear, and self-fulfilling prophecy. So I think that with the level, the magnitude, the depth of feelings that you guys are feeling right now, with this Queen of Cups being on the bottom of the deck, that fear is definitely rearing its ugly head, because I think you're dealing with a lot of emotions and you're not entirely sure where the hell to put them, what to do with them. If they're towards specific people, it's like, do I bring this towards these people? Under the Queen of Cups, we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So maybe this is something that's going to be brought to someone, but actually what I'm getting more so is purging. That's what I'm getting. Whatever is coming up right now isn't for you to bring to anybody in particular, even if it's directed at someone in particular or particular people. It's more for you to sit with and manage and really let pass through you. Because this Queen of Cups, I'm just feeling like, you know, the ocean can be really serene and calm and nice, but the waves can also be really like crashing and uncontrollable, and you can absolutely get swept up in the current. That's what I'm getting. Is that your advice already is to not get swept up in the current of whatever emotions are coming up for you right now. So you don't want to take your feelings and create any, well, the bottom of that deck says self-fulfilling prophecy, but it's like you don't want to create any narratives based on these feelings. That's not what they're coming up for. So if anything, any statements that you're telling yourself are coming up right now, like, I always end up hurt, people always leave me, stuff like that. When that comes up, that is coming up right now, regardless of who's triggering this in you. That is coming up right now for you to release it and let it go. Okay, even if this is a narrative that you've been telling yourself for however long, it's going to be different for everybody. And it doesn't have to be those things specifically. You'll know. You'll know for your situation. Anything that is coming up right now is to be released. So that's where we're starting today, my friends. Resting is going to be your best friend, and resting isn't just so much about like sleeping. You can rest while you're awake. You know, you can do any activities that are low intensity, that don't require you to do too much, aren't super stimulating. Okay, I'm gonna put an emphasis on are not super stimulating. Okay, Aquas. I know we're talking to fixed air right now, so I think whatever feelings are coming up for you you're feeling very turbulent. And some of you guys could be at a different stage of this process where this has already happened and you're like, girl, I'm okay now, but it got a little spooky there. Yeah, turbulent. And I think it's because you're feeling out of control right now, because what do fixed signs love? Control. We love rigidity, you know, we love, and fixed air, first of all, we love knowing things, but Aqua is definitely the you think you know everything sign, and we do. But there are certain things that are just spiritually above our pay grade. You know, it's not for us to know. And 10 of Pentacles in reverse feels like the outcome of something is not for you to know. Because this reversal actually feels like it has more to do with something that's already happened, already ended. But the fact that it's showing up right now feels like there's something about it that isn't over. And I think it's the impact that it's left. So under that 10 of Pentacles in reverse is the King of Pentacles in reverse. So this could be an outcome attached to King of Pentacles always gives father. So this could definitely be good old-fashioned daddy issues coming up to be healed. Yeah, under it's the Hanged Man. So you could feel like whatever's coming up for you right now is inescapable. And I think that's also why you're feeling so out of control, because there's all these feelings coming up, and you could feel like you're in the middle of the ocean and there are seismic waves and you're in a little canoe, you know, with no life raft, just crashing around in the water, wondering like, when do we get the hell up out of here? But I'm getting that it's kind of for you to just chill right now. Like you actually do have the life jacket. You're out there in the canoe, but you're fine. You know, is really what Spirit is saying. Like, you really are okay. As ungrounded as you may feel right now, you really are okay. And anything that's coming up right now is just for you to feel it out and then do whatever it is that you do to recenter yourself. And if you don't have anything in particular, and maybe that's something that you've been struggling with, one thing I recommend, I'm gonna put the link for it in this video. There is a channel and they have different meditation sounds, and theirs have rain attached to them. If you're not a fan of rain, I'm sorry, friends. No, I'm kidding. They have a whole bunch of other stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. But the ones that I was specifically using for a period of time, they had rain in the background, and I used to listen to the root chakra one whenever stuff around me was feeling very crazy, very uncertain, and I could feel that anxiety just like heightening. Yeah, I would lay in bed, I would turn all the lights off, light a candle, and I would put my headphones in and I would play that. And I would usually get tired, and then I would blow my candle out, and then I would listen to that until I went to sleep. Now, because I'm getting that this is something unhealed that feels familial, because it also feels generational. So what's coming up for you right now might feel like a big deal, because you're healing some stuff that's like bigger than yourself right now. So you could even be healing something that was passed down to you from a father, as an unhealed trauma that he would have had, that he took and then projected and inflicted upon you. What was I getting ready to say? I lost it. Let me find it. I'll talk about something else, it'll come back up. That's gonna bother me. We were talking about the root chakra. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I know. Ho'oponopono. Get very comfortable with that mantra. It is a Hawaiian mantra. I can't even remember the exact order of the 4 lines, and I should be able to, because I've had like different spaced out month-long periods of me playing that to go to sleep. I'm gonna link that too, because there's a very specific 8-hour version that I used to put on to go to bed, and I was really putting it on for self-forgiveness, but I noticed that after listening to it for a period of time, it wasn't immediately that I noticed the difference either. It was a good while after. I felt a lot lighter, and there was a lot of forgiveness, because it does, like, when you put it on to go to sleep, it really is doing that deep subconscious work. I just saw 10:10 on my timer. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. And it is good for self-forgiveness, but you don't just have to listen to it. You can write it down. You can hang it up someplace so that you can see it whenever you need that reminder. You can repeat it to yourself in the mirror. You can say it over a candle. You can do it over a white candle for a nice cleansing, healing session. You could say it over a green candle for your heart chakra. And you could definitely say it over a red candle for your root chakra. So I highly recommend. Definitely put it on to go to sleep. I never keep it on for the 8 hours. After like 4-ish probably, I'll wake up and my brain is like, okay, I need you to play something else now. But even just doing that made a huge difference. And I told myself very recently that I'm going to start listening to that to go to bed again. Wow, you know what's funny? I'm looking at the Page of Cups and the King of Cups in reverse, and I don't like that my brain said chasing. So, Aqua, I'm not gonna pull y'all cards. But because of course I'm pulling your cards, right? We'll see what comes out. That one just triggered me a little bit. No, we'll see what comes out, friends. That was just what was circulating at the bottom of the deck. So with this Queen of Cups too, before we move forward, of course everybody knows that the Queen of Cups is known for being the nurturer, the caregiver, right? She's very supportive, very creative. But she will work best when she is actually prioritizing taking care of herself as well. She's definitely at her strongest and her most powerful when she understands that the love and care that she's capable of giving out to other people is so very necessary that she can turn that inward. I'm just getting a strong message of you don't need to abandon yourself in order to take care of other people. And any relationship that can only function off of you doing that is not sustainable, and it's not stable, because that's not a stable energy, and that's not something that you can sustain over the long term, because eventually you'll be burnt out and resentful, because we got the Queen of Cups, so this can get really bad. I could be talking to Aquas with water placements. Yeah, you don't want to end up bitter and project that outwards when really you're going to end up having to turn that inward, because you're going to be more mad at yourself. We know how that goes, my friends. So that's definitely a warning. Because I like that, and on this, the Queen of Cups, like, she's taking a nap. She just looks so peaceful and calm and serene. So again, prioritize yourself, my friends. Fit things for yourself in somewhere in your schedule when you're trying to manage things that have to do with other people. This doesn't mean that you can't support other people and be there for them, but just also make sure that you have those days where, like, you're inaccessible. So days where you turn your phone on do not disturb and mean it. You know what I mean? Like, no, like, dead to the world. Like, nobody can access you, because today is my me day, okay? All right, let's actually get into it now. What's going on for my aquas for the month of November? By the way, if this is resonating for you, my personal readings are open right now, my friends. You guys are not gonna like what just came out, but more information about that can be found in the community tab. And if you have any further questions, make sure you email me at eternalserenitytarot@gmail.com. And also remember that even though this is for November, tarot is timeless. So this reading is timeless, and whenever you come across it is whenever it's going to be the most relevant for you. Or you might catch it early and you might hear something I say today, and then 3 months from now you're like, oh shit, like I know what she was talking about now. Could be 3 years from now. You know, I really, honestly, dating them is more for me than it really is for you guys, for real. Okay. First card out is the Eight of Swords. All right, so where are we keeping ourselves stuck is going to be the question for us this month, Aquas. And I say us because I'm a February 6th baby, friends. So I need to start telling y'all to put your birthdays down in the comment section. If you're watching this and you're an Aqua, comment your birthday down below. Comment your birthday and your big three. Okay. Because, like, let's start getting to know each other, guys. Eight of Swords. Okay. That makes sense, though, because bottom of the deck was consequence of fear. So this is kind of like a no-brainer, really. That's what's keeping you stuck. Fear. You know what? We're going to clarify it, too, to see what exactly it is. Would not be surprised if the Devil card comes out. I just love the way they depict it in this deck. This is like grasping for straws. So remember I was talking about what's coming up for you right now emotionally and how the best way to deal with it is going to be turning inward. This Eight of Swords could be you wanting to externalize what's happening, wanting to maybe lash out, wanting to have certain conversations with people that it might just, I don't think it's the best time to have just yet, you know. Journal what comes up right now and just shelf these conversations, especially because Mercury retrograde is coming up. I have a reading for you guys. It's gonna be a pick a card. Stay tuned for that one. But Mercury is, we're already in the shadow period, by the way. We've been in the shadow period since the 7th, and we will be in post shadow until January 2nd. So yeah. Mercury retrograde starts November 25th and ends the 15th. Yeah, and then we're in shadow until the 2nd. So God help us all. It's gonna be retrograding in Sagittarius. I'll have more information about that when we actually do the reading for that. But yeah, not necessarily the best time for these kinds of conversations, although maybe not. You know, go with your intuition on this one, because this retrograde could bring back people that it might be time to have some conversations with that you might not think that you're prepared for, and that might stir you up emotionally. So this could be telling you that if that happens and anybody comes around and you get triggered, exactly what I said about turning to any coping mechanisms, healthy coping mechanisms that you have that don't cause you to like disassociate or feel like you need to escape your circumstances. Now is not the time for escapism. Especially because I feel like the Eight of Swords is escapism. So sometimes with the Eight of Swords, you can be sort of keeping yourself stuck and caging yourself in mentally without even realizing it. You know, it doesn't have to be intentional. I would say 99% of the time it's not intentional. Because this feels like subconscious fears and beliefs that are coming up. So if someone or people are coming around and you're getting triggered, whatever it is that's coming up has been lingering around in your subconscious, and it's coming up to help you. It may not feel like it because it's gonna be uncomfortable as hell. But it is coming up so that you can let it go, so that you can release it, so that you can work with it, meet it, you know, sit down for a cup of tea with it and just talk to it and be like, hey, what's tea? You know, how can I give a voice to these fears? I'm getting like something, because we said the Queen of Cups, right? So I'm really getting that I think there's a lot of like creative potential in whatever's going to be coming up for you guys this month emotionally. So Aquas that have creative outlets already, that's going to be your best friend for this period of time. Like, however that is, if you write, if you paint, if you, I don't know, do makeup, whatever it is, okay? Taking what comes up, I'm just getting like, I don't know, I can't even see it specifically, but I can just kind of see and feel like some really beautiful artwork, you know, that can be made behind what it is that's coming up for you. And if it isn't artwork, it can just be something really beautiful that you write that is so powerful, and put it out there. You might want to hold on to it, but I actually think that it'd be more relatable than you might think. And you putting it out there, that's the most beautiful part about art, is that other people are going to receive it and they're going to be like, wow, how the fuck did she get in my brain? She took this out of my head, she put it on a canvas, and this is like, how? So don't hide yourselves, Aquas. There could even be some hints of like fear and shame that come up for you guys in this process. I'm also getting like a magnetic energy. You would be surprised when you start putting yourself out there, especially with your art or whatever that looks like for you. Maybe you sing, maybe you play the drums, you know, I don't know what it is. Maybe, you know, you write music, whatever it is though. And if you haven't, you don't do any of these things, but you've been feeling drawn to pick something up, do that. Because I'm also getting that will be a thing that will draw in like-minded people towards you. Because I just saw the Three of Pentacles in the deck, so I'm getting heavy like collaboration energy. And you'd be shocked, I think, the way that things can be kickstarted for you once you do this, because you're not even going to be doing this with the intention of people reaching out to you and connecting with you in that way. This is just kind of like, I want to be vulnerable and share this part of myself. And a lot of people are going to resonate with that vulnerability. It's really giving the Star card. They're going to resonate with that vulnerability, and they're going to be people that see what you're doing, and they also either do that same thing or they do something else. You guys might want to watch Virgo's reading, because there was like hints of, well, no, this is what Virgo's reading was about, but there's hints of this coming through in this reading. Somebody else might do something that works very well in tandem with what you do, and they're going to be so moved by what it is that you create and put out that they're like, we got to get together and make something happen. You know. I'm also getting, I don't know, something about what you guys are doing too is also going to showcase what you stand for. So I don't know who that's going to be relevant for, but whoever that is, you'll know what that means. Let's see what else. Did I lie? Did I fucking lie, Aquas? What did I say? This is your card, friends. You are the Star. But the Star is so vulnerable because it's really about accepting yourself, flaws and all, and just being, existing. And other people seeing that and feeling so drawn to it because they're just like, wow, you know? Especially because a huge part of trauma, especially rejection trauma, is the amount of shame for just being ourselves that it creates. So it's very radical, especially given what I'm getting hints of what you guys have experienced in your past. It's very radical to say fuck all of that and to still be yourself unapologetically and put that out there, because it's going to be so vulnerable that other people are like, wow. Wow. I think there are going to be people that will see something like that and feel like, you know, I could never be that vulnerable, but I actually get that you guys are planting a seed within people when you do this. And these could be complete strangers, and they may not even say anything to you about it, but it's like the seed that you're planting within them, it's like how pearls are made. So sand gets in there and it irritates it, and the next thing you know, you have beautiful pearls. Right? It doesn't sound like a nice process, but the end result is gorgeous. So that seed that you're planting within people is that it starts out as, oh, I couldn't do that, you know, and that's gonna sit with them for a minute, and then that's actually going to transform into, actually, you know what, I can do that. If this person can be so vulnerable and put this out there, it's like, why can't I? You know, if there are people who have certain hobbies or skills or talents that they're not using or they haven't really honed in on, but they see you doing that, they're gonna feel like, I can do that. So this star card is giving leader, leading the pack, leading a movement. Who's surprised? Like, what? This probably has a lot to do with the fact that Pluto is going to be entering Aqua for the next 20 years. 7 of Swords in reverse. So 7 of Swords in reverse can be about a plan, it can be about a strategy, but it's ultimately about something that's being uncovered. It could be you catching yourself in something. It could be you catching yourself in a lie that you've been telling yourself. It could be you catching somebody else in a lie. Or it's just something that's been hidden and that's been taking place behind the scenes being revealed. I think that this is more of an internal revelation though. The way that it's sitting next to the 8 of Swords. Because I feel like this is revealing to you what has been keeping you stuck. Because I actually feel like that behind the scenes is more, again, your subconscious. So this is like what's been happening with you unconsciously that you've just gotten into the habit of doing, or when something triggering happens and you fall back into a state of being that isn't even resonating for who you are right now. But it's more so like something happens that's similar to something that's happened to you in the past, and you go back to that past version of you and the way that they dealt with it. But ultimately, again, this is coming up just to help you, you know. It's just revealing to you, actually, you might look at it as like, oh my God, I haven't healed. But if anything, I think it's revealing to you that you have healed more than you think you have. But now this is about, it's like the final stages of healing, but not in like a broad sense, but the final stages of healing something very specifically. One thing my guides have been saying to me a lot recently is the example of salt on the wound, and how typically, and this might come up in when I do the collective reading for the month, because it really sat with me when they said it to me, because first I was just living my life. And I love that there's a card in this oracle deck that talks about letting the answers come to you by just doing your everyday mundane things, because that's very real. I was doing something in the kitchen, and it was just said to me like salt on the wound, and I was like, salt on the wound. And then it just kind of was like streamed into my consciousness. Like, typically when we use the phrase that somebody is rubbing salt on the wound, it's with a negative context. So we're upset about it, and we're saying like, why would somebody come in and irritate a wound that already existed? It's like, why would you come in and make matters worse? But that's how we view it from an egoic perspective. The way that spirit is saying that we should view it from the higher perspective is that the salt that's being rubbed on that wound, yes, it is irritating it in the moment, and it's uncomfortable in that moment, but salt is also very cleansing and healing, as we know. So at the end of it all, that wound, although it might be a little bit irritated, is going to heal very successfully, and it's going to be free and clear of any sort of infections, and it's going to be ready to be bandaged and stitched up properly. So the point was that when you're being triggered, in the moment that it's happening, it's frustrating because it's like, why would this person do this and trigger this within inside of me? But the more empowering way to look at it is like, wow, this person did this and I got triggered. You know, like that's the way to frame it, where we're taking responsibility for our triggers. Regardless of who has inflicted this pain and these trauma upon us, it doesn't matter. What matters is that, unfortunately, the worst part about it is that we gotta be the ones to deal with it. We gotta be the ones to heal it, and we gotta be the ones to let it go. That is a part of our process. So anything that feels like someone is coming and rubbing salt on the wound, they are, but it's not a bad thing. I just saw 30:30 on my clock. It's not a bad thing, even though it feels like that in the moment. You will probably end up thanking this person. You know, if you're really committed to your healing, and to seeing things from a higher perspective, and to forgiveness and unconditional love of yourself and other people. And that doesn't mean that you have to love on people up close just because you love them unconditionally. You can definitely unconditionally love people from afar. It's gonna make a difference in how you proceed forward from here on out. Whatever is happening right now is really just a tool for you to arm yourself with to further empower yourself, even though it's uncomfortable and it hurts. It's like cutting yourself with your own sword. You know? I don't know a better way to describe that. I hope that made sense. Hangman in reverse. So this is definitely about coming out of something. This could be about transitioning into your next stage of healing. This could also be about, one thing that I know from my own personal experience is that when you're healing and you feel like, wow, I've healed a lot, it's usually after a period of isolation, like the Hanged Man, which is typically like this, right? Which talks about, you know, the man is typically suspended on air in that card, suspended in air on that card, and he's hanging, he can't go anywhere, right? And there isn't anything around him that can distract him. So it's just him and himself, and usually he's facing, there's like, I don't know if that's in the traditional Rider-Waite. That might be in the Cosmic Slumber Tarot, where he's hanging and there's a puddle below him. I wish I didn't throw that. Anyway, he's hanging and there's a puddle beneath him, which is like that mirror, right? Because water is reflective. Oh, that makes that Queen of Cups make sense now. Water is reflective. So whatever's happening for you emotionally is a mirror. It's for you to look in, because this is for self-confrontation. I think this is stuff that you actually have confronted already, but this is like the big boss battle that you're having right now. And you're like, oh my God, not this shit again. But you're actually armed and ready to fight this off more than you think you are. It's just that initially that turbulence is gonna be like, oh God, like you're gonna wanna run away. I heard in fear, but ultimately that fear is outdated, because this is fear of what you felt like you couldn't handle in the past. And now you are in a much different position than you were when this trauma initially happened. So if anything comes around and it's triggering you now, you're not that same person. You're not that same age. If this is childhood trauma, you're not that child anymore. So you've moved through a lot and you've shown up for yourself a lot. I mean, we've got this star card here. The star card is also majorly about healing. I think it's also a card that when you heal, you're really able to connect yourself back to your desires more, because you don't have limited beliefs and outdated mindsets and fear and stuff like that clouding your judgment and stopping you from being able to have like a really free-flowing internal process. So again, whatever is happening now is ultimately for your betterment in all areas and aspects. If you are somebody who's very creative, or you have anything that you're working on, whatever's happening right now is actually putting you in prime position to be able to give that even more than whatever you're giving it right now. Even though it's not fun. But it is making you stronger. And I think if anything, not only is it making you stronger, Aquas, but it's reflecting back to you how strong you are currently. You may not feel like it because you're feeling like that powerless child again. That's the 8 of Swords. But the 7 of Swords in reverse with this Hanged Man is like, baby, present day, we're not that anymore, you know? So however stuck we were in the past when this initially happened, we're not still there. So we don't have to handle this the same way we did in the past. We shouldn't. We know so much more now than we did before, right? You know better, so you did better. Right, Aquas? Okay. You do know better, and you're going to do better. So don't let yourself get swallowed up and swept up by your emotions right now. Feel your feelings, cry it out, get angry, get mad, okay? Feel any sort of bitterness or resentment that's coming up. But again, this is just residuals, you know? So this is like, Spirit is saying that this is like the aftershock of an earthquake. You know, the earthquake happened already, and this is just like that last little bit of like, okay? Even if you're gonna feel like you're in a tornado, I think, but you're in the eye of the storm, okay? You are protected, ultimately, is what I'm getting as well. I just saw the High Priestess in reverse peeking out of the deck, so there's definitely a disconnect of some sort. That is Pisces energy. Ace of Cups in reverse. I'm gonna clarify that one because there's so many different things that could mean. This could even be like, this doesn't have to be about a specific like opportunity in love that you've missed. This can be opportunities that you've missed to connect with people in the way that you really want to. Because this could be trauma that's coming up that causes you to feel more disconnected from people than you necessarily need to. So this is like, even if back then you were disconnected from people, you're not that anymore, and you've healed enough to really be able to have genuine connections. So don't keep yourself stuck feeling like you're, you know, 13-year-old you, Aqua. This could also be opportunities having to do with creating from your heart. This is definitely heart-based, heart-centered. So if before you were severed from your heart, you were closed off, locked up, shut down from the things that have happened to you, you're not that anymore. So this Hanged Man in reverse with the Ace of Cups in reverse feels like this is a time for you to have things that you didn't get to have before. So if there's anything that you feel like you were robbed of in the past, this is about giving it back to yourself. All right. The number 7 might be significant for you guys. 3 of Pentacles came out, but it came out in reverse. So this could be talking about having a history of maybe being an overgiver, or being used to being in environments where you're collaborating with people. Even if this is a work environment, this is like, we're a team, but like, excuse me, we're a team, you know, we're a family, but really you're the backbone. You're holding everything up by yourself, which we've already discussed was unsustainable, and I think you guys have realized that. I don't know if this is like something got in the way, because now that we've looked at this in terms of for you guys and your own specific process, which I really like to do first. Whenever I do a reading, even if love decides to start creeping, it's like the hand on my shoulder. I like to first talk about how I feel like these cards could be talking about your relationship with yourself before we start talking about your relationship with anybody else, because I think that that's a lot more productive that way before we start saying, okay, this might be tied to somebody. Because what's funny is I'll do that and then I'll look back down and now the spread is saying something completely different to me. It's like spirit came and shuffled it, but it's the same cards. Okay, because it's getting hot in here. That's probably relevant to this somehow. Things might start to get a little bit steamy if you've been, because under the star we've got the Three of Cups in reverse, so you could be feeling like you ain't been having very much fun recently, Aqua. Based on the collective messages I've been doing, I don't know who is, honestly. Not, you know who's been having fun? People that are unhealed. Those of us that have been inside healing and trying to create peace for ourselves, it's gotten to a point where that's why we got this Hangman in reverse. Time to go outside and have some damn fun, okay? Especially because Aquas are very sociable people. So you could have a lot of relationship trauma that's really hurt you. You know, the way that people have received you in the past could be something that has really, really hurt you, and that could be something you've really had to work through. Especially if that is tied to family, specifically a father, with the way that I was getting it. There could be some things that you need to get off your chest, some things that haven't been said. Because my throat chakra is getting a little wonky, which I feel like usually happens when somebody is holding something back. You could be having dreams where you're like shouting to the point of like hoarseness, you know, and it's because there's something that just needs to be released. So again, salt on the wound, might have a conversation or might be approached in a way that is like, ooh. Ooh. But what do we say about that salt is healing? So you will be okay, Aqua. You're already okay. You know, you're going to be okay while that's happening, and you're going to be okay afterward. It's just going to take a minute, you know, for you to come back down and realize like, okay, I'm safe. Because this will probably trigger some feelings of unsafety, whether emotionally, physically. Again, it feels like something tapped into that root chakra, which is about your own base, you know, your own internal foundation, your own sense of stability. So you could feel like the stability of your life around you was lacking. And so that caused you to feel unstable and out of control in your childhood. And it's like now modern day, you could even be people that have built so much for yourselves, but there are still times where there are people that can pull you out of that feeling of stability. And again, it's not blame on those people, but it's just, you get triggered. It's the best way to describe it. Under that Three of Cups in reverse, though, was the Sun. So I also take the Three of Cups in reverse, too, as like either splitting off from a social group or being ousted in some way. Could have some shady shit going on behind your back. That could be for somebody very specifically. That could even be something that maybe you overcame from the past. As much as Aquas are very group oriented, which I don't think people necessarily realize, but that's because they don't see the amount of rejection that you face when you try to engage in social groups with people, the way that you're othered. Leads you to feel very jaded, and so then you often do go off to be on your own, to be the star. But this feels like you took it, flipped it, and reversed it, Aqua. So whatever way that people were rejecting you in the past, you were like, from now on, I'm gonna be my own best friend. All right, I'm gonna accept me. I choose me. Okay, but you probably have healed from times where it was like, I'm rejecting me too. And that could be coming up right now, and you could be feeling shameful about that, but this is not for that. This is just to let you know that there are just times where stuff like that can still happen, because this is a process. Healing's not linear, you know. And you just got to give yourself some grace and patience and a nice hug. And no, I'm giving you a hug. Yes, imagine me giving you a hug and singing in your ear. Sun card. So Under it is the High Priestess in reverse. You know what? We're gonna clarify what's happening here with what do I want to do here? Yeah, I'm gonna just start clarifying. I'm gonna tell y'all. What's the Eight of Swords? I got 2 cards. Do I want to take them? Okay, well, I do want to take them. I was getting Hermit energy. We talked about the solitude. I'm not surprised. I swear to God, whenever the Hangman comes out, the Hermit is never too far behind. Because being in that Hangman period is ultimately for you to connect with something higher than yourself, whether that be your intuition or you are literally talking to God. With the Hermit, interesting, I was gonna put my deck down. Queen of Pentacles is on the bottom, but I was gonna put it down in a weird way, and the Queen of Pentacles would have ended up in reverse. So that's interesting, and I'm noting it. And under it is the King of Wands. So I don't know if that's you, Aqua, or that's somebody that you guys are connected to. Because once I take the Queen of Pentacles upright, then the King of Wands is in reverse. And then the Six of Swords is in reverse. Okay, so this feels like something or someone that someone is attached to. I don't feel like it's you, Aqua. We'll get to that in a second. That's like probably somebody y'all are dealing with. Okay. King of Swords is clarifying the Eight of Swords with the Hermit. They came out together. So somebody's doing a lot of thinking. The interesting thing about this is King of Swords is typically not tapping into his intuition, or they're not tapping into their intuition due to being a logician and having a very, again, fixed, because King of Swords is Aquarius. So this could be you guys for sure. Or you could be dealing with an Aquarius or somebody with heavy Aqua somewhere. Someone, I don't think this is you guys though, because the way you guys were the Queen of Cups, so I don't think that this is you guys. Somebody I think is stuck because the way that they're trying to proceed forward is not going to get them the answers that they're looking for. Because the Hermit is about seeking answers, you know. It's when you realize, like, you know what, let me stop externalizing, let me turn inward, let me sit down for a minute, let me self-isolate, and let me just see if I can hear what it is that's being relayed to me. The problem is, though, if this, I was gonna say if the High Priestess had come out instead, this would be more productive. But if the High Priestess had come out, we wouldn't be looking at the Eight of Swords right now. So I think we saw the High Priestess in reverse in the deck. So somebody's not listening to their intuition. I just knocked the Queen of Pentacles off the desk by accident. We were left with the King of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So that feels like somebody that's being gotten up out of the way in somebody's life. I don't even think that has anything to do with you, Aqua. But yeah, somebody, it's like they're being given the information, but they're not trusting it because it's not making logical sense to them. They're not a person that I believe, at least the way it's coming through energetically. And again, this can be you, Aqua, you know, this definitely can be you. It does not have to be another person outside of yourself. There's some sort of a struggle between what this person is seeing with their eyes and what they are seeing with their third eye. I don't think that this is a person. That's why I don't think this is you guys. Because I'm getting you guys as coming across as being very tapped in with that third eye coming through as the Queen of Cups. And the Star, like, I think whoever you guys are dealing with, you're further along in your process than they are. You guys are at different stages. this person is having to learn how to lead by faith, not by sight. And they're also having to learn how to be more open-minded to, I want to say, a reality that they're, how do I say this? This is their reality. This is the reality that's going on around them. But this person is having to learn how to read between the lines. Okay, so how to go with what their intuition is telling them. And sometimes when your intuition tells you things about certain people, people have a good way of gaslighting you, even without necessarily consciously trying to. Because there's what they're doing and they're saying, but then there's the energy that's actually behind what they're doing and saying. And that's what the High Priestess is good for. Being able to suss that out and be like, oh, okay, I can see what's happening here. You don't want me to know, but I know what's happening here. That's ultimately what arms the High Priestess. So this person, the way that the Queen of Pentacles just jumped off my desk by accident, 1, 2, 3 on my timer. This King of Wands, this person is needing to empower themselves and take some sort of action to cut themselves away from something. But whatever it is that they need to do for themselves, like in order for them to progress mentally, they need to sever themselves. So there needs to be a change to their environment. And that's what's going to help them actually move forward mentally. Because if they stick around where they are, whoever this Queen of Pentacles in reverse is, they're going to continue to affect this person's mental state. Because the Six of Wands is about peace. But you have to choose that peace. You have to seek it out. Traditionally on this card, interesting, under it is the moon. Traditionally on this card, the person is, it's a woman and a child is on the boat with her. And then there's a man that's like, what do you call it? Paddling the boat away from the dock. And I always pay attention to the way that like nobody on that boat is turning back. Like nobody's turning to look back. It's just like look forward, put your head down, do whatever you have to do. But don't look back, because there will probably be something that you'll see that's going to pull on you and cause you to go back when you actually need to be going in the opposite direction. So I think this person needs to speak up for themselves. I think there's a lot that they need to speak up and say. What's interesting is I feel like this is something going on completely outside of you guys, because I feel like you guys are really inward focused on yourselves right now, as you should be. Focused on whatever it is that you're working on, focusing on what speaks to your heart, focusing on what you have access to and control over presently right now. And then separate of you is somebody that you're connected to, I almost said attached to. So that's interesting. Somebody that you have some form of attachment to that has something going on. This moon card, this feels like smoking mirrors. Like this person is in the house of mirrors and they're not entirely sure which reflection is the true reflection. You know what? As I'm saying that, it's making me think of in like movies and TV shows where there's the real person and then there's the clone, and then the opposite person has to figure out like who's the real one and who's the clone. They're like, quick, tell me something that the clone wouldn't know, only the real so-and-so would know. Except this is happening in such a powerful way, Aqua, because this is like whoever that's for, and again, that could be very specific. Whoever this other person is, it's like, Aqua, you're with that star card, like the way that you are standing in your power is speaking for itself. Like who you truly are, what you value, what you stand on. Maybe this is a specific person that's being magnetized towards you. That song Something by the Beatles is coming through. Specifically the part where they're like, something in the way she moves me. Could be relevant for someone. I'm gonna link that song. Can I remember to link that song in the description box? I feel like like this person's thoughts are scattered, because now I feel like I'm just like all over the place. What I was saying was, there's someone that you're being kind of pit up against, which is weird because I don't feel like you have any sort of like knowing about this, and maybe you guys do have known about this shit, I don't know, but this isn't something that's like, you're protected from this, you know what I mean? So you're not engaging with this. Your energy is speaking for itself from afar, you know. You're not having to go and prove anything. You're proving yourself by simply existing, and this person is proving who they are by existing. And there's a lot that's being said. Yes, okay, that's what that hermit, like, that's what this person is stuck. Because there's a lot that's being said that challenges what they felt like they knew to be their reality, and they're not fully willing to accept it yet because it's the norm that they've gotten comfortable with. It's that like functioning dysfunction, you know, where it's like, damn, if I really do address this for what it is, there are changes that I'm gonna have to make, and that's gonna be uncomfortable, and what's that gonna look like, and what's it gonna feel like, and the foreignness that comes along with that Six of Swords, where you just move away from the chaos. But when chaos is what you know, you get comfortable in it, but not because you're actually comfortable. This is comfortable from like a survival mode standpoint. Especially, this is something that this person has been dealing with from their own childhood. This is something that, you learn how to maneuver, you learn how to survive it. And so somebody is needing to switch this around so that they can go and live a life that's about more than just surviving. It's interesting the way that it's being shown to me, because it's being shown like this person is, it's like, oh, they're on a tiny piece of land, right? And we're like really zoomed in on where they are. But then when we zoom way, way out, we see just how vast the world is surrounding that little piece of land that they're used to functioning in. But the way I'm seeing it too is interesting, because it's like when you're on a map, but you don't have the rest of the map just yet. It's like as you move through, more of the map gets revealed to you. That's kind of what this is reminding me of. Because it's like when we zoom out, it's empty, and it's not because there isn't the whole world around them, but again, it's like the abyss. It's almost like that's how this person feels when they try to imagine a life bigger than the one that they're living right now. It's like overwhelmingly vast that it becomes the abyss, and this person is like looking out into the distance and they can't see very much. They're lacking visibility, they're lacking clarity. There we go. That's what this moon card is. This is like they're in a dark room, and we saw the sun, so it's like somebody just needs to kind of turn the lights on, you know. But the turning the lights on in this situation isn't going to be very easy, because there are some uncomfortable truths that are being uncovered, and this person's going to have to take action behind them. So now that that's taken up its own time, let's move on. What is the Seven of Swords in reverse? What is this connected to? What's being revealed? Okay, Aqua, this is definitely turning into a you and another person. Let me just make sure that I don't have anything else that's like specifically for you guys in your journey. I don't think so. I feel like we kind of covered everything. That was for just you guys. something about what this person is uncovering or the journey that they're experiencing, I feel like there's an awareness of where you're at on this journey. And so I think that there's like, I'm getting trust. There's a level of trust between you and this person that they would feel comfortable bringing whatever it is that they've been discovering while they've been in hermit mode to you. And what's funny is Spirit just said positive reinforcement. So there's like a level of validation that you would be able to give this person. Now Spirit, not Spirit. No, Spirit, no. Now Aquas, if this is somebody that you feel like I don't want anything to do with this person, listen, I don't know your situation, but I know how life works, so I get it. That's between you, this person, and God, okay? I'm just here to tell you what's coming out for you guys. Because clarifying the Seven of Swords in reverse is the Knight of Swords and the Eight of Wands. And if this is not some quick, swift ass energy, 22 on my clock, which is 44, then I don't know what is, friends. 44 also adds up to an 8, so you might see the Strength card at some point. The number 8 might be significant to you guys. This could be a plan that somebody has surrounding travel or like a trip that maybe they want to invite you on. There we go. There's my throat going out again. Somebody has something to say and they're not saying it. They want to, but they're overthinking the fuck out of it. So if this is a plan or a strategy or a course of action that they're thinking about taking, they are really in their heads about it and it's keeping them locked in. But I guess if there was anything that could break through the Eight of Swords, it would be the Eight of Wands. I'm not entirely sure. We'll definitely get, I guess we'll get an outcome. I never pull outcome cards. But I'm biased towards Aqua, so I'll do that for you guys. Don't tell the others. Knight of Swords though, fastest moving knight. So, I mean, King of Swords, Knight of Swords. This is going to happen very impulsively. Somebody could even be thinking about doing something impulsively and spontaneously. So it's like, when it comes to you, like, interesting, that's how I said that. I was going to say when it's brought to you, but there's something about when something comes to you, and I'm going to definitely find out what the hell that is. I think I know. Hold on, let me finish my initial thought though. When this is brought to you, it's going to feel like, what the hell? Or maybe it won't if it's been coming through in enough readings for you. And I guess you're hearing about it right now. But I still think it's gonna be very like, what the fuck? It's going to seem spontaneous, but it's not really all that spontaneous because Seven of Swords in reverse, Eight of Swords, this person thought about this a lot before they did it. It's just that the actually carrying it out is like this person just kind of pulled the trigger. Now, Eight of Wands can also be communication. This doesn't even have to be travel. This could be like a confession or a revelation that is on its way to you. And my hands keep going like this. Because it's going to feel like this shit is just coming at you out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. I'm going to ask about that too because I'm nosy. Yeah. This is a conversation though. Somebody wants to talk about something. Maybe they want to clear something up. But whatever it is, they want to talk about something that they feel like you don't know. Now, what I was going to say when I said when it comes to you, I think when it comes to you, this person, they are the King of Swords, so they are typically very pragmatic, very logical, very calculated, you know, very methodical. So they don't just like move, they don't also just blurt shit out without having thought about it first. But it feels like when it comes to you, Aqua, there is something that you bring out in this person that causes them to just kind of want to word vomit things that they've never felt comfortable talking to other people about. And I can see that scaring them as well, because it's like, why do I trust Aqua like this? And it's not that you're not trustworthy, but I think that this is, some part of this is like, there's soul things going on here. This is like soul to soul recognition happening here. So this feels like whatever's happening is bigger than this person, bigger than the two of you, and it's something that you can't consciously account for. This could even be past life related. We don't have the Six of Cups, but like that's just what I'm getting intuitively. Five of Swords in reverse. Ooh, Empress in reverse. Wasn't that something? And the Wheel of Fortune. Whenever we see the Wheel of Fortune, that means it's time. Time for what exactly? We don't know. But the moon is here under it. So things, that could be for you personally, Aqua. Things are moving and shifting in a way right now that you don't know where the pieces are getting to land. I'm getting that part in Paranormal Activity 3 where I don't remember what their mother's name was, because I think her mother's name was Lois, but for some reason I can't remember what their mother's name was. Anyway, she walks in the kitchen and she's like, why do I feel like everything is off and weird? Like, what the fuck is going on in the kitchen? And I think it was because she realized that everything was missing. The table, the chairs, the pots, the pans, everything is just like the kitchen is wiped. So she's like, what? Right, but I'm sure in that moment you're having a crazy feeling because it's like, what, how, why, when, where? All of a sudden though, everything just comes crashing down because it was being held above her and she didn't even think to look up, you know, and it just smacks into the ground. That's kind of what this feels like, this Wheel of Fortune and the moon. This is stuff that's happening very auspiciously, and it might, again, there's this turbulence again that you guys are going to be experiencing while all of this is happening. I think there are just major shifts happening for you guys after a period of some sort of standstill with this Hangman being here. And the funny thing about divine timing is that it's not up to you, and you never know when Spirit's like, okay, time. It's go time. So this is definitely giving like Steve Carell, it's happening. For you guys. But I feel like, I think these are going to be good things. You know, the moon is here, so it's clouding things right now, but wherever things are at right now is not where they're going to end up being ultimately. So that's another reason why it's not just a good time, it is most important that you are managing yourself right now, because as these things are shifting and changing, you're still in the middle of a transformation. So nothing is final yet. And things are feeling very uncertain, and your anxiety is wanting to grasp onto things and create worst case scenarios. Some of you could struggle with catastrophizing, okay? I feel you on that one. But ultimately, yeah, under the moon card is the Six of Swords. It's like you don't see just how much peace, like that's going to be the end result. You don't see how much peace is being ushered into your life, because it's going to be feeling a little bit hellish before things ultimately do calm down. Things are kind of going to come to a head in a way that's going to be like, whoa, what? But you're going to be okay, Aqua. I'm promising you that you're going to be okay. You're going to land on your feet is the way that it's given. You know, cats, they always land on their feet no matter how they fall. This is exactly what I'm getting for you guys. That Empress in reverse is interesting though. I'm going to take her out of the deck and we're going to clarify her. I never intend for anybody's readings to be an hour, over an hour, but we always end up there, and at this point I don't care. Y'all gonna take this hour-and-a-half reading and you're gonna like it, okay? Because you can always watch it in parts. Like, you never have to watch the whole thing, you know? Okay, because buckle up, we're not even like close to being finished. Y'all are locked in for at least another half an hour with me, and I'm not sorry. All right, Aqua. Five of Swords in reverse. Some sort of self-sabotaging, and the first thing I looked at was that Consequence of Fear card happening on the bottom of this deck. So under it was the Empress in reverse. So this could be someone's, this has been coming through a good amount recently. Someone's mother or a toxic feminine energy. Doesn't have to be somebody's mother, but a toxic feminine energy. Yes, I put it exactly where it belonged with the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So this is about some sort of third-party interference. There is a toxic feminine energy that has interfered in some way, and they had some sort of input and effect on whatever they said. got to somebody's brain in the worst way possible and triggered their fears. Okay, so right now they're looking at the consequence of fear and where it's put them with you, Aqua. And again, switch the roles if necessary, Aqua. This could definitely be you. Again, I don't think it is, but like I said, it absolutely could be. We did have the surrender to change card trying to come out from my oracle deck at the beginning of this reading. I have to remember that so I can read that at the end. That makes a lot of sense given what we're looking at right now. I think there's a lot of change and shifts, transformation, that you're in a state of surrender because you can't do anything to control the things that are happening right now. It's like a lot is just being brought to you, but I'm also getting you kind of just being like pushed forward. Like you're being moved. This is interesting, the way that's coming through. That could look like a literal move. There's definitely some sort of a push forward. This could even be like a timeline shift. Like you've made so many crazy changes. You put yourself on a different timeline. You get ready to spook yourself with where you have gotten yourself. I just saw 32:34 on my clock. But yeah, in reverse, this is like somebody trying to resolve, I think ultimately something within themselves. But there could be something that this feminine energy said to this person and it triggered them to do something, excuse me, that they themselves, I think, would look at as being toxic, but definitely destructive. Self-destructive and destructive of this relationship that they have with you. So I'm getting on your docket, Aqua, of things to be moving and shaking and transitioning and shifting. This relationship with this person is a part of that. So let's see what else. Okay. Star in reverse. 10 of Cups in reverse. What's the Ace of Cups in reverse? Page of Cups in reverse. And yeah, Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Yep, this is somebody's mother. And this is definitely somebody's mother. Hold on, I'm getting to this in 2 seconds. What can you tell me more about the Empress? Six of Wands on the bottom of the deck with the Four of Cups in reverse and the Queen of Wands in reverse. And what is that? The Five of Cups in reverse. Yeah, Aqua, you're about to be sitting so fucking pretty you couldn't even imagine. I'm gonna get into that first before we talk about the mess that is this situation. And that's how we'll wrap this up, and then we'll do oracle cards and we're good to go, friends. Okay, really quickly. My brain's like, which do we start with first? Because what I'm getting from that is like bizarre, and I think you're gonna think it's bizarre, because why the fuck are you in competition with somebody's mother, Aqua? Because remember what I said about that whole like clone, who's the real, who's the fake? At the start of this reading, right, we started with you guys being the Queen of Cups upright, and we talked about that. Why is this feminine energy coming out? And maybe this isn't somebody's mother. Maybe. I'm gonna hope, right? We're gonna hope. Queen of Cups in reverse now. That's not you guys. That came out with the Three of Pentacles reverse, that third party interference. Again, 10 of Pentacles. So for some of you guys, this can be someone's spouse. This could be the mother of their kids. But the 10 of Pentacles and 10 of Cups always give me family in some way. Okay, let's talk about you guys before we talk about this. Oh, this is beautiful, Aqua. 5 of Wands. Yeah, because we can't have fun without a little bit of chaos and calamity. 1 second.